playing Overwatch. So coming in here, I would hope Expert has a really cohesive plan, but I do think eUnited has multiple ways that they can win this, whether it be in the air or on the ground.
Yeah, the issue is, even though here on Oasis you can delay for a really long time into most of these team fights, the thing is, you have to control the point first, right? And we've seen eUnited just mechanically outplaying Expert at this point. And so they've got to win that first team fight. If they don't, that characteristic of Oasis just works against them.
I mean, generally, yes, but you never know. Maybe they're so confident in their delay game that they just want to play the fatigue. We will be in the first 24-hour Oasis game, and eUnited will fall asleep at their keyboards. You didn't consider this.
Pharmacy coming out on the side of Expert here is going to be Cranks. On that far, Baneless, of course, his Mercy pocket, while Cruz will have Morty in tail.
So we will get the Pharah v Pharah showdown here, but it is a little bit interesting because it's not going to be unfixed on the Pharah. Instead, it's going to be Cruz, who no stranger to the projectile DPS himself, but historically, unfixed has run it a little bit more, so we'll see just how this works out. Key part of Pharah v Pharah is how much you focus on the other Pharah. Cruz is more focused on the ground right now, and it pays off with the early Winston kill, but it doesn't pay off as he eats a rocket and Tracer is there for the fall through, so Cranks able to land the mid-air rockets, create space for Team Expert, and does let them get first control at this point.
You know, one of the scary things also is that Boombox is down there on that Zenyatta. He becomes so much more vulnerable if he doesn't have a Lucio there to try and peel for him, or if Sherrick and Unfixed aren't sticking around him. So Experts start off with the first team fight win, and so we've seen how difficult it can be with the Pharmacy composition to try and retake points.
Well, it can be hard to retake points in general on the Garden stage of Oasis, where you can win a fight in a dominant fashion and still get delayed for ages and ages. Now, for eUnited, they've started out with a trade, but they've gotten rid of... Oh, it doesn't matter. Cranks doesn't even need the Mercy. Still able to win the Pharah v Pharah. However, Unfixed has been untouched. Into the back line, no pressure on him, and eUnited is slowly able to chip away at this for what it matters, because Expert, there's a little bit delay on the point, and you have to think respawns are about to come back in. The question is, can they get there in time? And no, they cannot. They were not able to die in a staggered enough manner, so eUnited gets first control of the point for them in this round.
Yeah. Morty, he did go for that resurrection. Baneless is working on his. He's at 85%. So this is definitely an opportunity where Expert can come in for the retake, trade bodies, and then go for that tempo res, and we'll see if they go for that.
Yeah, we'll see if they go for the tempo res, but Unfixed right now is really off on his own at the moment. He's sort of pulling what we saw from people like From Reality or, say, Harblue on a Roadhog, where he's off on a flank, and the goal here is certainly to catch the Pharah position. That said, the fight right now taking place in close quarters in Vision, brawling out with eUnited in the corner, but it's Unfixed who comes out the flank, and off that position, he found both the Pharah and Mercy and goes to town. So the crazy flank from Unfixed, not so crazy, works out like a charm.
Yeah, great job coming out from him. And I mean, that's the prime target, right? You want to take out the Mercy first. You don't want to kill everyone and then worry about the Mercy and everyone just making that call out, where's Mercy, where's Mercy? So great job for them. They've equalized it and actually taking the lead here now on Garden Art eUnited, but they've got 3 ultimates to work with against the 4 coming out from Expert.
For Expert, the key part here is Resurrection. Baneless needs to stay alive. Let Expert be a little bit more divey here, a little bit more the trade out, and then you get a good res. Envision right now, off on his own, creeping with Lucio coming in from the back, but it's very separated out. Expert's already getting poked down and out of the fight before Envision even gets in, and that's a problem here, as so far, Expert, they go for a tempo res, it's only 1.
Yeah, but they do bring back Decod. Sherrick goes down as Cruz finds the kill onto his counterpart, taking out Cranks. Now the point is still being contested in eUnited, just trying to draw this out for as long as they can. Now the high ground is still contested by Cruz. He's gonna go for the barrage, picks up 2 Baneless and Talus along with Envision. That's a 3-piece for him, and that's one of the best barrages you can really get.
You know, honestly, I feel like it sometimes would be better to be up against Superman, because it's just like, look up to the sky. It's like, oh, it's a bird, it's a plane. That's your dilemma. Not look up to the sky. Oh my God, it's rockets. Well, speaking of rockets, here comes Cruz. 3 kills coming out. My.
Now he's gonna try his best hand, but no, Cruz just hits him with that direct, takes him on out. Resurrection from eUnited, and this is all but over here on the point, as there's just Nex and Envision tried the best to contest, but as overtime ticks away, eUnited should be able to walk away with his first point.
Well, we will see. It is in overtime, and we've seen teams come back in crazy circumstances in overtime, but they certainly have a stronghold on the point, and they are able to finish it out. One thing I'm going to say here, perhaps in Expert's defense, but more so praising eUnited, is that you might look at that from the side and go, how do you ignore the Pharah and let her get 3 kills like that? It's like, well, when you have to worry about Volatalia, sometimes you might be you might be given an exception for having that short-term memory loss because he is such a distraction that sometimes you don't look to the skies and notice that the Pharah is just sizing you up and ready to unload.
Now we're seeing pretty drastic difference in the way they want to run their composition for this next point. Baneless swapping off onto the Sombra, so they're going to go for that solo support style. But on the side of eUnited, they're going triple DPS. Unfixed is back on that Reaper ZP.
I like it. Well, actually, there's no point where a team will run Reaper where I will say I don't like it, even if it's getting completely wrecked. I like seeing Reaper played again. I like seeing teams experiment with it again, and that's what you should be seeing after a patch. United, of course, they do have a little bit more room to work with standing-wise. Expert fighting for their lives here. But we'll see if Unfixed is able to make this Reaper work to his advantage. But I'll tell you, actually having a tough day versus Envision right now here, Jamerson.
Yeah, and that was just the Expert situation coming out from Sombra right there. They were able to hack that Mega and just play kind of like Jack in the Box, jumping up and down from mid. And so the point will unlock as Expert should be able to take it.
I identify with Expert there. I also perform better when I'm stuck in a basement. That's all I got for that, is that they went into the basement and they made it work out. eUnited able to not really evict them from there, much like an upset parent.
But there it is. Boombox opens it up, takes out Envision, and now it's going to be a 6v5, but Boombox will go down to Decod, and now Baneless just trying to find a nice hack target. He's going to actually find himself a Winston and just get some damage off, and it looks like he's invisible to them, but he was just spraying. Sherrick does find the kill on the Decod, though.
Invisible or inconsequential? They just didn't really care as they ran into the rest of their team and murdered them. What is a few Sombra shots to the back when you get the bounty of the rest of the other team? Now, to Baneless's credit, he did build up ultimate. He will have it in this next fight, but it's still a good fight for eUnited. I do think Expert here, this is a window that they might not even realize they have. A really good EMP engage with a fall through. eUnited's not going to have the resources to actually deal with that right now.
As long as they take out Boombox, I mean, we've seen how strong an EMP can be in dealing with the Zenyatta. So if you get the EMP onto them, get rid of the 150 shield, and he's just such a squishy target at that point. Pulse Bomb comes out and actually gets the kill onto Decod.
The problem here for Expert is that they were really tentative on going in. You have the EMP, face roll the fight, they don't, and now they have to blow ultimates into a fight that's a little bit more even. It's 5 versus 5. EMP still being held here, and they have not gotten the point just yet. eUnited, with almost no margin for error, still holding on. Finally, the EMP comes out, but Cruz with the Dragon Blade doesn't care. The EMP hit after the blade was out. He's able to pick up 2, including the Sombra, and now it's Lucio hunting season.
Well, Diva's there to back him up for now, but eUnited should just be able to clean this up, and unfortunately, you know, Baneless got in there, he went for the EMP, but like you said, they were being very tentative, and even though, you know, you were able to get the hack onto the Genji, it doesn't matter if he doesn't have his dash reset, if you're all clumped up around him.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's like I can't dash. On the other hand, room service. And we know how great that can be, especially when you throw 2 people within blade cleaving range. So, not quite what Expert was looking for. However, Expert coming in here, if they're going to make a move, they need to do it now. It's 74% to 29. The Dragon Blade is up, and the stage is set for Cranks to go off. And oh man, both Winstons getting a little bit angry at each other here to the backline. They're going to cancel each other out. Meanwhile, Expert really is not engaging with their full team here just yet, as Decod is left out to dry.
Yeah, it looks like a situation of where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing at this point, as they're just going off on trying to do their own thing, and it's not working at all for Expert, as eUnited, they're just 4% away. Now they are contesting on the side of Expert as a Pulse Bomb comes out. Unfixed is just going to Wraithform that out, and now Cruz finds a kill onto Envision. He's got the blade, he's just trying to finish this off in style.
Well, he's certainly doing just that, but well, as good as this fight was for eUnited, it was a symptom of just confusion on Team Expert, where they had a decent plan to go in there. You have the Primal Rage, you have the Dragon Blade, you let your Winston get sucked up into this rock'em sock'em robot one-on-one with the other Winston, get isolated by the rest of your team, and then you still don't go in at the right time and use your blade. It's just confusing as to how Expert played that, where I don't know why it feels like they're off and not on the same page right now, but right now in results, that appears to be the case.
Yeah, one of the more confusing things is how they try to run that Sombra. I think after they had not been able to get that retake off the EMP, they just need to swap off that Sombra. It's so hard. You need that mega health pack control there in the middle, right? Your Winston and your Diva can just jump in and get right back into the fight after healing up off of 2 health packs, but now here we are onto City Center.
Well, we are in the City Center, and that means we're going to be seeing more Pharahs. Cranks for Team Expert, Cruz once again on eUnited. And pay close attention to the Pharahs. Right now, we've seen that Cranks really does like taking the fair v fair battle. Cruz sometimes focuses more on the ground, and you see that right now. He was going for the Lucio kill, not really giving Cranks the time of day, and I gotta tell you, Cranks does not like being ignored.
Not at all, and he's still trying to go after that pharmacy combo. He's dropped low, and Unfix will actually clean him up. And, that is really unfortunate for the side of Expert here, as they are already down 2 points.
Cranks is actually happy. He finally got the attention he wanted. I mean, it was a very self-destructive behavior, but he does go down nonetheless, so it's a little bit rough in general. eUnited definitely played that a little bit smoother. Cranks wasn't able to get the targets he wanted to early on, and eUnited just steamrolling through, definitely building up a bit of an advantage ult-wise going to the next fight.
We're also seeing the difference in Mercy so far. The last time they played Pharmacy, Morty was actually able to build up his Resurrect much quicker than Vainless was here, and so they're going to have that ready probably by the next team fight. So, you know, they can bait an Expert, get a few kills, go for that tempo res, and then beat them out that way.
Certainly they could, but Expert, they have to figure out some plan of attack here, whether it be that or something else. Right now they are going with the Fair Mercy, but they are under assault from all angles. Voltalia being the ground control right now, shooting at the sky. Shriek, though, not going to get the support he was looking for. Gets taken down, and now Expert with the chance to start pushing this back forward the other way. But Voltalia equalizes it back up, and the Resurrection will do more of the same. eUnited back to full strength, and though Voltalia is going to fall down, both teams saying that heroes never die.
Yeah, that transit's coming out just a little bit too late to keep Voltalia alive here. We do have the self-destruct coming out, but remember, throughout the entirety of this, it was eUnited's point. So they got up to 49 before Expert were finally able to force them off. Cruz gets that kill onto Decut, so it might make the next retake easier.
It might, but I'll say this is a bit of a win for Expert. eUnited wasn't even fully off the point, and they still gave up the capture here. So this is good for Team Expert. The question is, how long can they delay it? As you do see Unfix with the visor create all sorts of space, and I think Expert just dying way too quickly here. I don't think they're going to be able to delay this for much longer.
Yeah, and generally we do see a pretty protracted delay coming out, particularly here on City Center because of that center building, but it didn't happen for Expert like the way it did for eUnited.
No, and I mean, part of that is that eUnited was just able to finish their plate. They went in, they didn't leave any leftovers, and they got in quickly. And look, as a man who doesn't leave leftovers himself, eUnited is getting my respect right now as far as that goes, and it did make for a cleaner fight here in City Center. Now you look at Envision, going in, looking for a pickoff to bring it back. Does it stick? No, but it was awfully close.
Yeah, Sherrick just landing right on top of Envision there, taking him out. Now Cruz just tries to go for that concussion blast, but we still have that Primal Rage. Winston taking to the air and batting him around.
I mean, he's batting him around, but to what end right now? This has not been a great opening here for Expert. Taking out Voltalia definitely helps out a bit. They are being aggressive and going in, but eUnited still has plenty of people in and around the outskirts. You have Shariq on one side, Cruz coming back in from the other. The Fair Mercy combos back in, and they have to be looking at Cruz here. Cruz could be set for a big barrage in just a moment, but no, he's taken down. Envision mitigates that threat, but the Resurrection is on deck, and you gotta think eUnited is coming right back up, and that is a big res for Morte.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full 6v6 once again. Self-destruct comes out, doesn't quite connect onto anyone. Envision does use his recall to keep himself alive, and now Cruz just looking for his opportunity. It's in overtime now. Justice does come down. It rains onto Talus and onto Nex, and now man advantage for eUnited to close this out.
That Oasis weather, man, changing on a dime. It's sunny out, and suddenly it's rockets all the way. And speaking of rockets, Cranks takes one right to the gut. eUnited finishing out Oasis with style. If Expert thought that their Serenity was going to be coming from Oasis, they were wrong. They are now down 2 maps in the set.
Yeah, and that is very worrying. Remember, they need at least 1 map win to force that tiebreaker with Bazooka Puppies if they're not able to get this draw against eUnited.
Sometimes as a Winston, you just gotta go out and electrocute the entire team. Which really calls into question what Winston likes, where he's such a calm guy, and then he's choosing one of the most brutal methods to dispatch his enemies.
He's calm some of the times, but I've seen him rage pretty hard, as it turns out. No, but I want to talk about
I wouldn't want him in my ranked games.
Yeah, right. Anyway. Cruz versus Cranks. And of course, we talked about the 2 different styles of like, where are you focusing? And the fact that Cranks didn't even always have a Mercy. But I want to talk about the ultimates, because so often those really just relegate you to death, which is another reason why you bring Mercy. But Cruz had a couple of great ultis, 3-man ultis, where he didn't even die.
Yeah, the scary thing about that is that Expert are the one that are running the 2-2-2, right? They have the Diva, but they didn't do much to try and really mitigate that.
Yeah. I would say the key thing here in the terms of Cruz, it was mentioned mid-broadcast, but sort of eUnited has enough threats that you can't always look at the Pharah. It's not like other teams you see where, for example, you go against Classic Yikes, you're never letting Za out of your sight because of how good he is on his Pharah. Well, sometimes you have to let Cruz out of your sight because Volatile is going to kill your entire team if you don't. The problem is that you look towards volume, and then you look up to the sky, and everyone is eating rockets for breakfast.
Yeah, and I mean, I got it next. He has done this on D.Va very well, and you can see he is prioritizing that defense matrix around his front line, and a lot of times in these very protracted fights, but he just wasn't able to get it on the ultimates coming down from above.
Yeah, also one of the other things, it was that boombox. Even though they were playing the pharmacy, we generally see, Lucio to go with it. He stuck to that Zenyatta, and I thought he was going to be very fragile out in the open, but they never really took advantage of that. They never really went after him and focused him down, and he was just safe in the back line, just doing boombox things.
Yeah. I mean, you say that as if it's an easy turn. It's like, it's just boombox in the back. It's just a normal Zenyatta. Maybe no one wants a shame of just taking the orbs to the gut there. The other thing I'm going to note here, though, which probably ties in, but to your point on a more serious note, is that I don't think Experts Engages were particularly compelling here. Even when they had an advantage on paper, they were tentative. They were playing more scared than they had to be. And it really bit them at multiple points in this matchup where I'm sure they can go back and look at the VODs and go, oh, we just should have went in.